AskReddit by you are adult. What's a trade secret you know from working the industry? If you call a call center of any kind, and the person you're talking to puts you on hold with no hold music, they can hear everything you are saying. I worked in an insurance call center when I was really young. I had so many people accidentally confess to insurance fraud that way. Haha, I once had a guy who was being nice as pie, then when I put him on hold started calling me a stupid bitch who probably didn't know what I was doing to his friend. I unmuted and said in my sweetest voice, "Oh, don't worry, I do know what I'm doing. I was trying to see if I could pull in a favor to get you an upgrade even though you're not entitled to one with your policy, but I'll keep my favors for another time. Your entitlement is a 1 LTR. We will not be upgrading." Guy was dumbfounded, and as I hadn't been rude and hadn't done anything wrong, management supported me when he tried to complain. When you shop at Walmart, do you sometimes hear the announcement saying security cameras to zone 6 or another number? They play them randomly in the hopes that someone who might be stealing will get paranoid thinking they are being watched and will decide not to shoplift. I'm not sure if Kroger still does it, but they used to do the same. Attention, security check insectiblo or something. Vinegar is the best thing to get your cutlery shiny in a restaurant bar. Vinegar is also the best glass cleaner. Fuck Windex. Vinegar is a fraction of the price and never streaks. Arcade crane games have knobs inside that let you control how strong the claw grabs. So you basically make the claw really weak strength, and then there's a setting in the motherboard to make the claw go full power after a certain amount of plays. Whatever the arcade door owner decides how often they want people to actually win. Deleted. A certain 48 inches interstate natural gas pipeline valve is being kept open by a strategically placed piece of 2x4 lumber. If the valve was closed, millions of people would be without nat gas fairly quickly. Things like this makes me wonder how fragile the world really is. As a freelance photographer, most magazines and newspapers don't pay you for using your photos. They offer you photo credit only. If you ask to be paid, they just get a similar photo from someone else. Also, if you have a unique photo or video, always go non-exclusive and sell it to everyone. You get way more that way than just selling to one as an exclusive. If you are involuntarily kicked off a flight because of oversales, you can demand cash instead of a voucher. Scroll down to involuntary, https://www.transportation.gov/individuals/aviation-consumer-protection/bumping-oversales close bracket. From what I have heard, if you volunteer your seat you can possibly negotiate not only even more money but a hotel and or meal. Airlines would rather do this than make someone mad by forcing them off the flight. Automotive industry. Never buy the first year of any new model car. Too many years in an industrial bakery. If the plastic clip holding a bread bag closed is upside down compared to the others, it's been manually attached by hand and the contents may have been tampered with. If you unclip open a bag of factory produced bread while holding it hanging from your hand, and the bag spins open, the same thing as above applies. That is, someone has spun the bag before manually attaching the clip. The machines don't spin the bags. If you buy sliced bread and there's a rather sudden shift in color between, say, the first 10 and last 20 slices, they're different loaves patched together by hand in the same bag. Same thing is true if there's a slight shift in size diameter. Slices should naturally line up perfectly with their neighboring slices if they're the same loaf. Things may have changed in the past few years, but generally speaking plastic is hardly ever recycled anymore. It used to be shipped to China for processing, but even they had a hard time with the amount of pollution and toxic waste produced by recycling it. Now it will get shipped to other countries in Asia where more often than not it just gets dumped into the Pacific Ocean. A lot of municipalities just add it to landfill. On the other end of the spectrum, aluminum recycling is amazing. Deleted. If you ship through FedEx Express, if you're sending many packages envelopes to a single stop, ship one priority overnight and the rest standard. They'll be delivered together with the priority package. Express courier here. This is on point. I hate having to double back to a stop, so if I see a business priority and 3 more standard, I get giddy because I can do that stop as one instead of 2 separate ones. If a medical professional ever suggests you get a second opinion, for example a nurse at the doctor's office, it can be code for they are concerned about the quality of the medical care you are currently receiving, and that you really should get that second opinion. Deleted. Having a crew that can pass a drug test is not the same as having a drug-free crew. When one guy can pass a drug test, everyone can pass a drug test. On any piece of machinery, if the welds you see look like shit, the welds you don't see are even worse. As a layman, what can I look for to evaluate the quality of welds? I doubt this will be too interesting to most, but if you buy 100 tons of straight rebar, you're actually only getting like 95 tons of steel. ASTM allows the rebar to be up to 6% lighter than the nominal weight per foot, and so it saves on raw material if you aim to run 4-5% light. However, rebar is tested based on the nominal weight per foot, so 2 pieces of rebar with the same strength will be able to hold the same amount of force even if one is thinner than the other. Same for all structural steel, but we never aim to be light, ever. That was recipe for accidentally being too light, especially in a mill without tension control. Worked in high-end golf clubs for years. Almost all politicians register their handicap scores under a false name. The USGA handicap records are technically public information, and people would be pretty pissed if they knew how much time these guys actually spend playing golf. Can you ally 5? I understand what a handicap is, but the rest? You have to register it? For what purpose? Why is it tracked? As an HVAC mechanical engineer, if you tell us you don't care about a brand, it'll open up an entire industry of options. Almost all packaged equipment has the same efficiency and warranty, but some brands just cost way more than others because of whatever internal proprietary controls they have or inflated egos or whatnot. I can design you a system for 30-50% less sometimes if you give me the flexibility to do so. I can also show you a comparison to prove to you that 2 systems of different costs will operate equally. And NBSP. I should add that a good ethical engineering sales, should also keep in mind maintenance, dimensions, fitment, and overall longevity of the unit. And they should have in-depth discussions with their customers. Lowest equipment cost does not always equal longest lifespan. I'm just talking about operational comparisons. In the United States, movie theaters spend more money on the bags for popcorn than the popcorn itself. Attorneys can really only remember the details of about 20 to 40 cases at a time, so if you call your attorney after about a month or 2, depending on the firm and how busy they are, they likely completely forgot what happened to you, and are working off a set of notes to pretend they have any clue who you are. Especially if you've really only interacted with them via phone other than one time in person for an intake or whatever. Please don't be offended if your lawyer needs 3-4 data points to remember what case you are. Some of us carry over 100 at a time and my brain just needs a minute. But once I boot up that you're the one with the 3 random things that make you stand out, I really do remember the whole thing. I will never, ever remember the case by your name. I'd be a much more expensive lawyer if I had sales skills like that. That the reason why celebrities always look good in whatever they wear is that the clothing is tailored to their exact measurements. Shoppers will buy the size closest to, take it to someone to alter, and then deliver it. Yes, even the shirts. All emergency rooms are not equal emergency rooms. In my hospital, we don't have any sort of OB, pediatrics or any of that. Whenever a kid comes in, or worse a baby, the nurses and doctors are all in a panic. Not because they are incompetent, but because that's not what our hospital does regularly. Sure, we will stabilize to the best of our ability and we will immediately call the local children's hospital. But if you have a child, for example, in distress, and you have multiple hospitals nearby, try being aware beforehand which one is the best for yours or your child's needs. You don't want to rush into an ER where there isn't someone who can confidently and effectively treat you. 100% take your children to a children's hospital if it's at all feasible, safe to get there. It's night and day. Children's hospitals are amazing at what they do in both providing pediatric care and dealing with families. I can't thank them enough for the care they've provided my children over the years. 2 times we've taken our kids into a regular ER, once a misdiagnosis that caused a lot more misery and pain. The other, the doctor got straight kicked in the face by an angry toddler during stitches. We actually did find and file that bug in your favorite video game. Our leadership just decided it was okay to ship with it. It's fine. Ship it. Gaming corporate mantra. One of my favorite bugs I ever found during my QA was finding a 100% way to clip the main character into a vat of sludge and get him stuck inside, resulting in a non-progression. Since we were close to submission, the producer takes a look at it and decides to waive it, thinking that it'll be unlikely that they'd find that bug. Sure enough, we failed submission and my bug was cited as a CFR, cause for as omission, aka must fix. Calls are not being answered in the order received. And let me guess, it's not unusually high call volume, it's that they just haven't hired enough people to actually answer all the calls in a reasonable time frame. When you play match 3 games, like Candy Crush Saga, after beating a few levels the game will make it impossible for you to continue. You will be getting impossible odds. If you put your device aside and return after several hours or a day later, you will find the previously impossible level to be easy AF. It is a mechanism to prevent people from burning through hundreds of levels in one go. Does this apply for Duolingo, too? Movie industry. Unless you are absolutely breathtaking in your audition, which does happen, don't get me wrong. There is a list of 30 people each studio prioritizes to be in their major films. Deleted. For every publicly announced data breach, whether that be a confirmed leak, or the identification of a security flaw, there are 50 other such incidents that companies swept under the rug. Data security is complicated, and most organizations don't have the proper expertise to secure their data. I would go farther and say there are probably lots of companies that never even knew they were compromised. Awards tend to be bullshit. Awards companies are there to sell advertising. They make up awards, offer winning titles to businesses, then charge them to include their name in their literature. For example, the business my husband and I own recently won a national award. We were even asked what award we'd like to win. What's the title of the award you feel you'd be best suited to? We could have made anything up and we'd have been given it. Best is in the known universe. To receive a certificate, we need to pay them £70. For a trophy, it's £225. To have a quarter-page spread in their magazine, it's £650. For a featured article, we have to pay them £2,000. It's a load of bullshit. Nobody ever remembers who gave the award, and frankly we aren't daft enough to pay for a featured article nobody will ever read, so we just use the term award winning in our own advertising now. Edited to add thank you for the awards. Deleted. Most electronic medical records allow providers to put pop-up warnings in your chart if you act verbally or physically aggressive. If you yelled at the ER nurse in 2017, the medical assistant you called today begging for a last-minute appointment can see it. It comes up as aggression warning. We can also see if you are an elopement risk, high fall risk, are on suicide precautions, lots of EMR banners. Work for an optometrist. If you find a pair of glasses in a clinic that you like, they are likely marked up X2.5-3. There should be a number on the inside arm of the frame. It should be like AK 2073 or something like that. Look that up online and buy it straight from the manufacturer. Probably will be less than $100. Don't pay full price for glasses. Edit, marked up times 2.5 or 3. Not percent. Casinos don't need to cheat. We have already rigged the game against you. Funniest thing I ever heard from a bookie is that all his clients will tell you at the end of the year that they're about even. Oh yeah, then how did I afford this BMW, he'd say.